This week we play and preview Arena Gods, and in the news, Sony PlayStation clears house. Street Fighter V finally gets a mode. New announcement from 343 Studios.
Halo 6?
Nope, not Halo 6. PSVR 2.0 announced.
More like 1.5.
What was that?
That's exactly what you asked for.
And never. I'm not gonna respond to that. And Never Stop Sneakin is the closest thing to a Metal Gear Solid game you're gonna get, and more. It's Game Club reviews with the news.
Más como uno.
Oh, are we supposed to do a thing now?
Just keep going.
Oh, keep going. Hang on, I totally closed everything. No, I'm good. Just. I'm there.
I'm leaving this all in.
Okay.
It'll be great.
I don't really have a piece of news with this one. I guess it's news, but it's just something I wanted to mention. There's a game coming out by a development studio called Visage, and they're coming out with a game that's basically, it looks like PT has come back to life. Remember PT? Anybody here? Anybody? Bueller?
Rings a bell.
Josh?
I went to physical
Oh, yeah,
therapy.
the super scary thing.
The super scary hallway thing.
Oh, yeah.
That was supposed to be the next.
The thing Josh refuses
Silent
to play.
Hill.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you never play it, Josh?
I don't know what any of you guys are talking
He
about.
doesn't want to play it.
What?
I don't know what you're talking about. Move on. Keep it moving. Keep the show interesting.
The game is actually called Visage. The developer is called Sad Square Studio. But I just wanted to mention it. There's not a lot of news right now for it. It looks gorgeous. It's got really sleek graphics. It definitely, from the preview that I saw on IGN.com, it looks like it's definitely trying to basically do what PT meant to do and couldn't because Konami shut it all down and Kojima left the company and you really needed him for that game. So just look out for that. When more news pops up, we'll definitely report on it. But let's move on. I just want to mention right now that every once in a while, the internet proves to me how much I hate the world and everywhere we're going.
You mean daily?
Yeah. So we all remember No Man's Sky, right? The game that at first was trash and then after a year later became, probably what it was meant to be and totally solid game. Well, I was reading on Kotaku a story about a PhD student who has who's leading 30 players on a archaeological survey of land in No Man's Sky to dig deep. They found an ancient player civilization, and this is where we're headed now as a culture and as a people. We're actually doing archaeology of a world that was just made by developers who totally know what's in that world, and they only made it a few years ago.
Yeah, dude. Welcome to social sciences. What else are you supposed to do with that degree, James?
I mean, I guess the good news here is you can play video games and now work at a college.
Yeah. This has been everything you've been pining for the last 15 years. I don't understand why you're looking at this as a negative thing.
Are you just mad because you didn't think of it?
I'm just mad that somebody's proving that my education is useless.
You knew that going in.
All right.
Oh, yeah, that's
PUBG,
sad.
PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, was in the news. First of all, earlier on, about a week ago, there was some sort of chatter that PUBG might be coming to the PlayStation 4. There was some leaks that they were having some talks with Sony. That was quickly shut down about a day or two later.
By Sony?
Yeah, the developers came out and said, no, this is going to be a Microsoft exclusive and also PC. Don't expect a PS4 version. The end. End of story. And so that was already a little bit upsetting. And then, Chris, I meant to have you prep for this, but maybe you can just tell us what's up.
Just Google it?
Yeah. So
all the latest news. We'll Google it for you.
That's actually a good tagline for our video game.
We'll Google it for you?
Yeah.
Oh, we should totally do a podcast about that. We should just Google things for people. Think about it.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. That's actually not a bad idea.
We should edit that out.
Yeah. Don't talk about it on the air.
Okay. So, Chris, what's this deal with advertising happening in PUBG? I read a little bit about
some
it.
stink about it, but I'm looking it up right now. I guess, did they put ads in the game or?
I thought it was in the Chinese version of the game. Is what happened, which then made me wonder why is everybody upset with what's going on with the version of the game none of us are playing.
Yeah. I don't know. Go on to your next thing, and I'll look it up while you're talking
gonna
about
figure
that.
this story out? Okay,
Yeah.
you figured it out first, Chris. Although you could just take the dead air like out of in edit.
Yeah. But
Let's just wait. Let's wait.
work.
Oh, okay. You don't want to work? I'm sorry.
Thanks for watching.
You don't watch, so no thank you.
What are we doing?
I thought you were looking up the thing.
No, I said do your next thing while I look it up.
Okay, but I figured we already had so much dead space.
Oh, yeah. I guess I'm going to have to cut it anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Oh, baby, I love your ways every day.
Hey. We can't afford the royalty. money.
Okay, sorry.
Article from Polygon. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Latest victim of review bomb on Steam.
Oh, review bombs. But there's graphs for that now, guys.
Players are upset over advertisements shown to players in the Chinese market. I'm going off article written by Charlie Hall here.
Charlie Hall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Players Unknown Battlegrounds was hit by a massive wave of negative reviews on Steam. Appears to be the result of a great number of unhappy players in China who are upset about ads showing up in game.
That's why it's a story, is because of the review bombs.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking an answer to the review bomb problem would be if a developer was able to ask for to be taken for reviews to be the possibility of reviews to be shut down for like 1 day or 2 days.
Yeah, because the internet gets mad, but then it moves on quick.
Right. So if they could just say like, please don't allow reviews.
This
for the
says
next
that
2
the
days.
focus of player rage appears to be an ad for a Chinese VPN service, which shows up on the game's home screen.
That's it. That's what they're upset about. A home screen ad.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't really.
This is off. But then they got a review bomb for this.
But I mean, you do have to pay what? It's $30 for the game, right? On Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I'm paying like full price for a game, I don't want to see
Dude.
ads in the game.
Yeah. I bought a freaking television, and when I turn it on, I get a little ad on the bottom.
Yeah, it's kind of like how cable TV pisses me off. It's like
Yeah.
I'm already paying for all these channels, and then you're still gonna put ads on it.
Wait, but why is anybody surprised that this is just the world that we live in? Like,
Exactly.
everything
Yeah,
has
and
ads.
that's
though.
true though. It is better than paying $60 for the game, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
literally
also-
everything has ads.
I'd rather pay $30 than have an ad on the home screen.
But frankly, who cares about the home screen, really?
Yeah.
I mean, if you would have a legitimate problem if it was in the game.
When was there ever an understanding that buying something meant that you'd be free from ads?
Well, because it used to be the whole ads came about as a
In place of
television,
buying.
right? In place of buying,
Right.
Television was free because we all watched ads, right? That was broadcast and television.
The 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13 channels or whatever.
Right. And they were free, but those channels, those stations made their money on ads. And back in the day, before technology made it convenient you could find a way to skip advertisements, but before technology made it very convenient to do so, yeah, the idea was we watched ads and that content was free to watch.
It was like an unspoken contract between us and them.
Yeah, that's stupid. Speak it. If you want it, speak it, man.
Well,
That's how you got to speak things into existence.
the other thing is having to
Name
pay
it and claim it.
having to pay for something and see an ad is paying for something twice, right?
Nope.
But the home screen, who cares, really?
No,
I feel like that is like the most benign form of advertising in a game.
Doesn't
If there's more to it than we're getting to here, then let us know because
We don't want to be review bombed.
Yeah, and we're too poor to buy.
I'll be
PUBG
review
right
bombed.
now,
I'm okay with
so.
that. No, look, it's stupid. If you don't want to be in this world to watch ads knowing that
Just
they're
kill
going to be
yourself.
everywhere, then don't be here. Yeah, like if
Just
you don't
kill
want
yourself.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Then just go download ad block.
Yeah, it
and-
takes 18 seconds to figure out how to
But
get
don't
around
use
this.
it on our YouTube channel, please.
But for everything that we deal with in this world, we all know that ads are a part of life, and this is just the way things are. Like, you can complain about it and firebomb review games, and even though they're actually really fun and good for camaraderie, and really everything that's everybody who's wanted in a game for a long time. PUBG is like the zenith of gaming for this kind of thing, and it's just people are like, shut up, just leave, don't buy the game.
Anyway, you might have been wondering what
Trash.
I meant by Sony PlayStation clears house. Well, news hit this week that Andrew House, CEO of PlayStation
Oh,
Sony,
you made it funny, dude.
is stepping down from his position. He's gonna remain part of PlayStation leadership, it's kind of unclear.
Okay, so they didn't clear house. They just kind of moved houses.
Well, it's unclear whether this is kind of just like something where he'll give some input like once a year, like it's like hardly like any real connection to Sony, or if it's like an ongoing job or not.
So it's like a board of directors kind of job where you get paid but you don't actually do any work.
Exactly.
I need one of those. If anybody's got any openings, I'd be a great member of your board of directors.
Yeah. So it's a little unclear what he's going to do from now on. We all owe Andrew House, well, at least those of us who care, owe Andrew House a thanks. I mean, he is he was one of the main guys who developed the Sony Vita, the PSVR, and the PlayStation 4. Like
3 things I've never owned.
PlayStation 4, though. I mean, a lot of people own that.
No one.
There's something like 50 to 60 million PS4s owned right now by people.
Hey, people make mistakes all the time.
Not when it comes to PSVR.
Big words from
Or the PlayStation 4, I mean.
Big words from the mobile gamer.
Yeah, seriously.
Yep, because you can't, well, yeah.
You make a mistake every time you hold your phone.
I can have fun from anywhere. You guys can't.
I wouldn't call that fun.
You can take a Vita in the bathroom.
Yeah. You could drop a Vita in the toilet.
Yeah,
Come on.
I gotta go drop a huge Vita after this.
There that is.
Oh, the Vita was a great idea, though.
Yeah. Also, from the Sony side of things, they have announced not necessarily a PSVR 2. It's not really upgrade enough to call it that, but it's more like a tweak, kind of like almost like the slim model of the PSVR. They're changing. They were making it so HDR video can now pass through the unit, which was different than before. If you wanted to use HDR functionality, you couldn't have it pass through the PSVR box. That it couldn't handle the PSVR signal or the HDR signal. Now it can. This new version. Also, some of the wiring has been more streamlined and kind of nicer looking and easier to handle. And they've just made some little tweaks here and there. And so
yeah, so it sounds more like a 1.1.
Right, 1.1. So with that said, it's a the PSVR is cheaper than it's ever been. If you have been curious about VR, PSVR is fully loaded with a lot of games. I mean, you got to buy them. It's not loaded in the system.
Are you VR curious?
VR curious.
I'm VR furious.
Oh, okay.
Man, Sony is never going to send us anything.
And I love them so much.
I hope they rot and burn.
Okay. So, yeah, PSVR. I think this is a good time to get into VR. I don't know if it has a future. I've not been convinced that it has a future, but it.
It's a great time to get into it. No future though.
No, because it's like buying a console near the end of its lifetime and all the games are out, right? And they're all cheap now. That's the PSVR, right? It's got like 50 to 100 games.
Yeah, because the next gen of VR is on the horizon, maybe.
Right.
Kind of.
Okay.
Like it has been for the last 5 years.
Yeah. So Street Fighter V is finally getting an arcade mode. Isn't that ridiculous, Chris?
I haven't been keeping up with Street Fighter since Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Well, Street Fighter V came out roughly a year ago, and
Rest in peace, Raul Julia.
And my impression of it was people liked the mechanics, but it was very bare bones when it came to modes and content. And apparently it didn't even have an arcade mode. So that's finally coming out for you Street Fighter fans. You're getting your arcade mode. It's coming out both as its own standalone disc, which will have all of the... or its own standalone game, I should say, which will have all of the DLC characters with it. Or it's a free upgrade to get the arcade mode if you already own Street Fighter V. So you can just download that mode on its own. So that seems to be fair. It's an upgrade of substance.
I like free stuff.
Yeah, free stuff's good.
It's my favorite.
So, Josh, you still playing Rocket League?
I haven't played it in a little bit, but
Oh, you're not like me? I'm playing it every Friday?
no.
No?
I don't know.
There's too many options these days.
Yeah.
It's true.
So many great games out. What a great time to be a gamer, right?
It is a great time to be a gamer.
There's a lot of good stuff on mobile right now if you guys want to talk about it.
No.
What a great, I said gamer, like real gamer.
Yeah. So for Rocket League, there's a DLC coming out. It's and it contains the 99 Nissan Skyline GTR and all from Too Fast, Too Furious, and the 70 Dodge Charger from the Fast and Furious. I think that's the first movie. Yeah.
Cannot wait.
Each car will
That
cost
charger shows up in-
$1.99 USD.
It shows up in more than the first movie.
That's like the black one, right?
Yeah.
The one that the
Vin
main
Diesel drives.
Vin Diesel drives.
It's the one,
The one
that
that-
everyone loves.
The one that has that in the first movie has that really cheesy plot line where Vin Diesel's too intimidated to drive a car he built.
Yeah.
Like this guy that's all about racing cars
Hey, stop.
is too intimidated by this car to drive it.
You know, it
Stop.
happens. I built a car like that once. It was
See?
awesome, but it was sketchy to drive.
So stop.
Way
it.
too much power, way too light, and
And so you left it in your garage for like 10 years?
no, I sold it.
Okay.
But it was fun. I mean, that thing would burn out for days.
Isn't
And
that
over 3 orphans. Plowed right through them.
okay?
Pow, right in the kisser.
Whoa. Okay. So
Dental plan.
we might need to.
In other words, don't ever talk bad about the Fast and the Furious.
They're making the next one April 18th, 2020.
Yeah, I hear it got delayed because of The Rock.
Yeah, he's filming some more movies right now.
Fast and the Furious is modern day literature.
What?
Sorry, I was trying to keep a straight face.
I thought you said modern day liturgy. It's like, that's probably also true.
So, Chris, I was hoping you could explain this to me because I should have done the research to look up what they mean, but I didn't. So, 343 has announced a Halo Not game. So, they announced this Halo experience, and they called it a mixed reality experience.
It's gonna be like AR.
Well, that's what I
Because
thought.
that's
I was
like
like,
the hot thing right now, right?
I was like, that
AR?
sounds like AR, but why are they calling it mixed reality and not AR?
Because Apple just talked about AR a bunch, maybe. I don't know.
So here's what
Or
IGN
is that like
says.
the kind of thing? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yesterday on the Halo Waypoint blog, 343 Industries revealed Halo Recruit, its first downloadable mixed reality experience since the company announced its interest in all things mixed reality and Halo. From October 17th, Windows mixed reality headset owners will get the chance to pick up those sweet, sweet Halo pistols and enter a shooting gallery featuring some of the series' iconic aliens as targets.
So it's like laser tag
I don't know.
with like a Microsoft HoloLens.
I told you I
headset or
didn't do any research. I was hoping you would know.
something? Yeah. Well.
And I think that's all. Oh, no. One more thing. From the creators of Dust and Elysian Tale, there's a new game being announced called Never Stop Sneakin'. Have you seen this, you guys? It looks awesome.
Never stop.
It looks like it's clearly a parody of Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation, the first PlayStation. And
Can you hide in cardboard boxes?
probably so, but I didn't see that. The gameplay isn't quite like Metal Gear. It's faster. It's much more twitch-based sneaking. It's top-down. But all the QuickTime videos and all of the characters present in the game are definitely from Metal Gear Solid. Like, and it's just a great trailer. You should go check it out. There's the characters are all. Did I say Halo or did I say Metal Gear Solid?
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, all the every character in the trailer is clearly some kind of parody of a Metal Gear Solid character, and it's just for people who have sort of a nostalgic love of all things first MGS, and you're cool with somebody kind of poking fun at it, then this might be a fun game to play. It's a good like afternoon or weekend kind of game.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
fun.
So let's now talk about Arena Gods.
Arena God.
We should say up front that we were reached out to by the developers of Arena Gods, and they sent us a free code to download this closed beta.
Okay, well, you need to say
On
that
Steam.
one more time for the listeners.
Why?
Because that's some big news. Say that one more time.
That we were sent a free
Yeah.
Steam code?
Yeah.
Shut up. We don't want him to know that we're small fry.
We got to be like, that happens all the time, bro.
Yeah.
I'm always getting free Steam codes.
Everybody wants
Just
to be,
people throw Steam codes at me all the time when I walk down the street. After I got done hiking.
Steamed.
People
Yeah,
are
anyway.
always like cornering me in elevators and like, oh, please try my game on Game Club.
And I'm like, well, maybe I'll get around to it, Anyway,
Guys are
so,
liars.
but I wanted to mention that so people know that
Developer is Supertype.
Supertype. So why this is important, though, is so people know that we were given this Steam code and we got it for free. So we might be a little bit partial there. Also, since the game can't be purchased in any way, it's a closed beta, we will not be able to review it like we normally do, whether it's worth the price, worth more than price, or less than the price, or not at all. So we're gonna instead of calling this our normal review, we're gonna call it a preview and give our impressions and some critique.
So good.
I was really
All right, welcome back. Thanks for.
I was really worried when James said, "Hey, we got this key. We got to try this game out," and I was like, "Oh man, I hope it's
gonna
not
be
bad."
trash.
Yeah, I was really like, because I don't want to be mean.
Please don't be a
they're
small
kind enough
fry
to
company
reach out
sending
to
to a
us.
big time podcast.
They're kind enough to reach out and send us this, and I was just so worried. And then we loaded it up, and I think
pretty fun.
we just sat here and laughed and had a great old time playing it.
Right now, it's kind of a bare bones experience.
I stabbed a guy.
It's
Yeah, I saw that.
it's doing one thing, and it's doing one thing very well.
Josh got a pitchfork.
I assume as it gets further developed, they'll add modes or something like that. But right now, essentially, let me see if I take a shot at describing the game. Top-down perspective, maybe a bit more isometric. Is it isometric or top-down, would you say, Chris?
I don't know.
I guess it's top-down, but it felt slightly isometric. But it's there'll be up to 4 people in a Roman-style arena, and it's
And you kill each other.
fight to the death, all 4 of
Last
you.
man standing.
And various objects for killing and defense are sort of fed into the arena as the fight continues. And right now the modes are you can play single player against NPCs, or you can play against your friends. But to do that, you're going to have multiple controllers to do that, because it does have controller support, but the multiplayer I think is exclusively through controller support. Was that the sense we got, Chris?
I don't know. We didn't have multiple controllers, so
Right.
we'll update on that maybe.
Yeah. So Josh, what do you think?
I love this game. I wouldn't even care if this game never got updates on
Yeah.
it. I would play that single game mode like that over and over. The only part that was a little bit underwhelming were the AI, right? So if you
There are
just
a few times
stood
they
on,
still get stuck.
stood on the other side of a block, it would just keep running at you without
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah, and the AI didn't seem to understand. So you can, if you ran all the way to the left of the screen, there's certain parts of the screen that if you pass through,
The Pac-Man screen.
right? If you pass through the edge of the screen, you'd come out on the other end. The AI didn't seem to understand that, because there was times when I totally would run circles around the AI by just switching to the other side of the screen. They wouldn't know what
I
was
kind of
doing.
like that.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. So that was my only less than perfect. But anything other than that, I thought this game was spectacular in every single way.
Well-
I liked the music.
Yeah.
Particularly.
It sounded like Hotline Miami music.
Yeah, and it reminded the characters that you are, like the actual characters in the game, reminded me of Mount Your Friends.
Yeah.
They're in the same design.
Kind of
thing.
ragdoll physics.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is when you throw something in the game, it will go forever until it hits something. So
Yeah.
if it passes through the side of the screen, it'll just keep going.
You can shoot yourself in the back.
Right. And if you that was funny, Chris. When if you throw something at an angle and then it passes through the side of the screen, it can get pretty crazy where that thing ends up
And
going.
the weapons did seem to track the person they were
A little
thrown
bit.
at a little. Like there was a
Yeah.
slight bend or a slight curve in it.
I was a little confused about that, because sometimes it seemed like that way and sometimes it didn't.
Yeah. Maybe it depends on the weapon.
Maybe.
Heat-seeking tridents, those were a thing in Roman times.
Yeah. I think until new modes or new content is added, I think it's safe to say that playing this on your lonesome would get boring pretty fast. You'd probably play it for all of 5 minutes.
Oh, no, not me.
Well, see, I thought the magic was in being in a room full of your friends.
Yeah, that could
kind
be.
of beating
No,
each other up.
You could be right. But
Well, and they said they're going to add online multiplayer,
Right.
so I mean, it could be.
this struck me as for where it's at in its development, they're doing a fantastic job and they're on an excellent trajectory. And when
Can you
the game
imagine
is
how
finished,
much rage
I
this
cannot
game will
wait.
create
Yeah.
once it goes online?
Yeah, and it must
Oh,
be
it's
said
gonna
it's
be
not even
great.
early access. This is just a beta that we were able to get into.
Yeah, so if they're maybe 33% done, 30%,
And they have so many
it's
cool
awesome.
things already, like the shields bouncing a couple
The
times.
trash can
Yeah.
sound, go, go, when you hit people with
So
it.
you get, we're calling it Captain America-ing.
Yeah, the shield looks like the Captain America
Yeah,
shield.
then
and
you
it
bounce
gets
it off a wall and hit somebody with it. You can chop off a guy's arm and then pick up the arm and go beat someone else with it. I got beat to death with some guy's leg.
Yeah, I like the part. So it's pretty fun. Also, so you can be where you can jump on top of the person when they're down on the
and
ground.
pound.
There, but even the roll away, in terms of that action item or that action thing that you can do in terms of being able to get up and move. So it's pretty nice in that when you go down, it doesn't automatically mean that you're gonna die.
I think this is a great
to get back up
example
and
of
keep moving.
you don't need a $100 million budget and a AAA publisher to make something fun.
Yeah.
You need like 4 beers and a group of people that are willing to do crazy stuff.
This is what most indie games should be. They should have a kernel experience they're really after. If it gains ground and a lot of popularity, you can add to that experience. I feel like the big mistake of so many indie developers right now is trying to create a AAA experience on an indie budget.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, and often you get something that's...
I need more money for my game, Mom.
Yeah. Often what happens is you have a very pretty game that doesn't do anything usually when indies go after the AAA space.
Yeah, but this is a great indie game.
Yeah, it knows what it is.
Yeah, and it doesn't try to be anything different.
This is the thing that
it's a good party game. And it's super enjoyable for a long amount of time with some good people.
Yeah, I would almost put this like I don't know, I might get in trouble for saying this, but almost up there like a Rocket League type of thing, where if you put it like on Xbox Live Arcade or something, like just everybody would download it. It would be the party game to play with your buddies. We sat here with a bag of chips and some drinks and had a great time.
Yeah.
Not alcohol.
So
Not alcohol.
Yeah. Instead of giving our usual review, I want to end with everybody giving a piece of advice for how they would advance upon this to make it even better than it is. And I'll just go ahead and start, give you guys a moment to think. I think something it didn't have and will in the future is I would like to see a distinction between the 4 characters more.
Classes, kind of?
Maybe classes, something
Perks,
where...
kinda.
Yeah, maybe different perks for the different colored
Different
characters.
skill trees.
Right. I would like to see...
Can you make your own gladiator mode?
That'd be nice. I'd just like to see there to be a little bit of distinction. I know that...
Other than the color?
That brings in balancing issues, obviously, which might be a pain. But that was something that immediately... I thought when I first saw that there was 4 different colors to be, I thought, well, what's the difference between the colors? And I became very interested in that. And then I was sad that I didn't see any difference. So I think that might be a key component to add to this game, that there might be a reason to pick red over blue or over green or whatever, and maybe add a little bit more features to each one.
I kind of like the simplicity because you don't have anybody falcon punching everyone all day.
Falco! Huh! Yes!
Okay, so what do you think, Chris?
Maybe over time a few more weapons.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Guns.
I really like it as it is.
Hmm.
I don't want to say simple because that sounds insulting, but very straightforward.
Right.
Like, you know what you're there for. You're there to kill 3 of your buddies. Jump in and go for it.
Yeah, I feel like adding some kind of tournament mode where like you have a tournament tree that whittles down.
Oh, that'd be
might
fun.
be
Yeah.
nice.
So if you were playing with if you had a party with 10 people at your house,
Right.
you could work your way through it.
Yeah.
If it was already built in.
I would like to see some more character development. I'm in the same boat with you there. I think that would be really cool if they could do something like that, and then making the AI a little bit smarter, continuing to work on it. But
Yeah, just a little polish.
yeah. But overall, if they did nothing else as far as complexity goes to the game, I would still be 1,000% satisfied.
I think the game, this is kind of a weird comment, I think the game could go for having a slightly bit more violence too. Like humorous violence.
Yeah.
Like cutting off a guy's arm and beating someone else to death with it isn't violent enough.
I need a bit more than that, Chris. Need a bit more.
Make it easier to see.
Yeah.
There, right? If they can make the screens a little bit bigger, or the levels maybe just a little bit there, and be able to show some more of that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, honestly, we had a really good time. I think that's the best compliment we can give it. Video games are about having a
Would
good
you
time.
rate it right now? In its current development?
The way we rate it
It's
is
against the
impossible
price.
because it doesn't even have a price.
Yeah.
And since it's not even early access.
Okay, on 1 to fun, how was it?
Fun. Definitely fun.
All right, cool.
Yeah, definitely fun.
You guys, Josh, I think you disagree, but I would say that my fun with the game was in a party atmosphere. You said you would like
Dude, I would sit and play by myself for like an hour and not even think twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris, where do you stand on that?
I wore out my thumb on Cluster Truck.
Okay.
So sometimes I love just a straightforward, this is your task, go do it,
Yeah.
I also don't have friends, so that might be a little bit of a bias there. So whatever that
says the guy that has the most friends in the room.
6.
All right. Well, I think that's it. Yeah, the game is Arena Gods. Right now it's in closed beta. I'm assuming that with a beta, there's going to be an early access.
And thanks to Supertype because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Made our Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it was a great time. Thanks for sending it to us. We'll definitely throw some videos up. And
or maybe one more suggestion.
Yeah.
Consider actually fighting
Giving us
gods. No, fighting gods in like a Thor
Arena
versus Odin.
Gods.
Yeah, like literally. A little bit more on the nose there,
If
guys.
they teamed up with, what was the game we reviewed last year? West last week?
Last week, West of Loathing?
No, or 2 weeks ago.
The one with the gods that were fighting each other.
Oh, right. Yeah, that one.
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool. Well, catch you guys later.
Bye-bye.
We at Game Club want to thank you for watching this video, and if you would, please like, subscribe right here, watch a couple extra videos, and keep playing games.